will stay vigilant and look out for any other vulnerable spots. Let's listen into this exclusive comment that's come in on how Noida Authority is now taking stock of the situation.
There has been a lot of outrage against the Noida Authority also. What action has been taken since it's been 2 days since that incident?
प्राधिकरण की ओर से संबंधित जो जेई है उनको सेवा मुक्त कर दिया गया वहाँ से, और इसके अलावा जो है संबंधित अन्य अधिकारियों का स्पष्टीकरण मांगा गया है।
सर, जेई के अगेंस्ट इनसे एक्शन लिया गया है, तो कोई नेग्लिजेंस था पाया गया है?
वो प्राइमा फेसी ये जो देखने की बात थी उसी के कारण किया गया है, और विस्तृत से जांच चल रही है अभी।
सर, जो 2 कंपनी एफआईआर में अक्यूज़ बनाई गई हैं, वेस्ट टाउन और जो दूसरी लोटस है जो कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी है, तो ये दोनों अक्यूज़ड हैं एफआईआर में, तो इनके अगेंस्ट कोई एक्शन पहले हुआ है या कोई पहले से कंप्लेंट थी? आप लोगों ने का क्या रहा है इनके साथ?
और पहले से तो विभिन्न हाईकोर्ट के क्रम में, आदेश के क्रम में जांच चल रही है, बट चूँकि बड़ी जांच चल रही है तो वो उसके अलावा तो अन्य कोई जांच जो है इस स्तर पर, क्योंकि उसी में इन्वॉल्व है सारी जांचें, बड़ी जांच चल रही है, तो उसके तहत और बाकी से सभी जो रिसेंट घटना के बाद संबंधित अधिकारियों के स्पष्टीकरण मांगा है ताकि अग्रिम कार्रवाई कर सकें।
सर, एक सवाल, जो रेजिडेंट्स हैं एरिया के, उन्होंने बोला कि वहाँ पे लाइटें इनअप्रोप्रिएट हैं, लिट नहीं है एरिया अच्छी तरह से, दीवार जो थी वो भी कमज़ोर थी नाले की, और ऐसा भी बता रहे हैं कि कई बार कंप्लेंट भी दी गई थी उस पिट को लेके। उसके बारे में क्या कमेंट रहेगा?
हाँ, उसके बारे में हम लोग दिखवा रहे हैं कि क्या क्या उनकी कंप्लेंट्स आई है, और अगर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई है तो उसकी जिसकी लापरवाही उस पर कार्रवाई होगी।
कोई ऐसा ड्राइव चलाएगी नोएडा अथॉरिटी की इस तरह के जो स्पॉट्स हैं उनका सर्वे किया जाए या कुछ एक्शन लिया जाए ताकि आगे इस तरह के इंसिडेंट्स ना हो?
जी बिल्कुल, अभी हमारे सीओ साहब ने कल ही आदेश दे दिया है कि ऐसे सभी फील्ड में जा कर के देखेंगे। सामान्यतः भी देखते रहते हैं, और भी कोई ऐसा रह गया होगा कोई स्पॉट तो उसको देख करके उस पर शीघ्र कार्रवाई करेंगे। सेक्टर 150 नोएडा में जो दुखद घटना कल हुई है, उसके संबंध में नोएडा प्राधिकरण की ओर से जांच करवाई जा रही है, और जांच उपरांत कार्रवाई करेंगे इसमें। अभी उसकी पूरी विस्तृत जांच करवा रहे हैं। जांच में पता चलेगा किसकी ज़मीन थी, किसको आवंटित है, और कौन उसका किसको मेंटेन करनी थी। वो जो रोड जा रही है वहाँ पर अभी तक तो हमारा जो है ना बसा हुआ सेक्टर नहीं है वो अभी, तो हम लोग जहाँ पर बसावट होती है वहाँ पर काम करवाते हैं, और आवश्यकता के हिसाब से यहाँ जहाँ जहाँ ज़रूरत होगी वहाँ करवाएंगे।
I do want to go across to BJP's Mahesh Sharma, who joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Sharma, good morning. How do you look at this? These are lapses on several levels, multiple agencies that are being questioned, but what allowed this kind of an under construction site to be left unchecked the way it was? Compromised walling, not just that, there were no safety measures in place, there was no lighting whatsoever. This was almost a tragedy waiting to happen and unfold.
I think it's a really painful and sad things what has happened. We have lost a youth of this nation. This is painful, and I can understand there has been some lapses, some negligences. Definitely something more could have been done better. But what we learn from what has happened, it should not happen again. Because this story of this sports city was in courts and other agencies, through other agencies for last almost around 15 years or so. But yes, it needs some sort of direction boards, some more precautionary measures should have been taken. I'm really concerned about this, and now today we are going, myself and my MLA, we are all going to the aggrieved family, the complete government, and we as the public representatives and the whole party is with the aggrieved father who has lost his
what's
son,
your
the family.
assessment, Mr. Sharma? Because a lot of residents have come out to complain that we had leveled all of these concerns in the past. Accidents had taken place in the same spot, and yet it was left unchecked.
No, I fully agree that some lapses has been there, because the thing has happened that we took about 3-4 hours. Even we could not save that in the city like Noida, which is equipped with all the modern facilities and ammunition with SDRF and other agencies. So this is a big question which lies, and it needs to be investigated, and the guilty has to be brought to the books and needs to be penalized for that purpose. But definitely it cannot bring back the person who has lost his life.
Being
The
the
government and
being
the complete
being
ministry is
being
with
the
it.
political representative, Mr. Sharma, questions are being asked to you, to your colleagues, to your party, to everyone on each level concerned, to whom residents had reached out with these concerns. Who do you think is going to take accountability, sir? Yes, arrests are
No,
being
it is
are being
it is
made,
their
an FR has been lodged, but that's not going to bring back the young life.
that is true. That is true. It is their right that to us, to the public representative, and even the government is answerable. Responsible government is there in the state. Definitely, all those persons who are a reason for these lapses, they'll be taken into account. And definitely, the government is standing with the aggrieved family. Be it the government and the party is standing with the aggrieved family. We are in this time of the sorrow. We are with the family. But definitely, it will need more investigation. And what else could have been done? What should have been done by now? So we'll take care of
Mr.
that.
Sharma, did this concern reach you in any way, any manner in the past? If yes, to what extent, in what capacity? Did you personally direct officials to do something about it? Tell us what happened, because it is not possible that residents kept flagging it and it went unnoticed.
No, it was brought to my knowledge yesterday itself. Too. I just had words before talking to you about 20 minutes back to the CEO, Noida, Lokesh, and had discussed in details what all measures you should have taken, you have taken now, to see that the agony of that family get some relief. And definitely a deep investigation will go into this, that who else are responsible and such things doesn't happen in future, and what remedial measures and what something can be done for the aggrieved family. They are all under consideration.
Are you acknowledging the fact, Mr. Sharma, that previously when similar accidents had taken place in the spot, including a truck accident, nothing was done, no damage control whatsoever, and that may have led to the 27-year-old Yuvraj losing his life today?
See, nobody can deny this, even as I or anybody else. Well, there's some lapses has been there, and that's why this event happened. So no doubt about that. We own that responsibility as a public representative also, and as a government representative also.
Many thanks, Mr. Sharma, for sharing your thoughts and views. And I do hope, sincerely hope, that investigations point to people who are solely responsible here and accountability is fixed. I do want to go across to my colleagues Simran Babbar and Anvit Srivastav, who join us with more details. Simran, to you first. You know, we've heard it from Mr. Sharma, who's the MP, Gautam Budh Nagar MP, who's monitoring the situation. He's already had a conversation with the Noida Authority CEO as well, as he briefed us. But the fact of the matter is that this had happened in the past. Residents have spoken off, and multiple people have come out to say that all our concerns, all our complaints went unnoticed, unheard. What explains this? To what extent were these lapses ignored? Simran.
Where in that conversation where in fact the Noida MP has himself acknowledged that there are lapses that have happened and there are laxicities on the basis of the actions that were supposedly to be taken by the authorities that have happened. That in itself goes on to state and also confirm how exactly everyone in the political bureaucracy and also in the power of the Noida authority were aware of what needed to be done. So now that the tragedy has happened and now it has become in fact even more controversial as to how many more deaths were waiting to happen at that very land, which was in fact many a times also being raised in the form of complaint by the residents. Now this is also a big statement coming in by Noida MP, given the facts of the statement that there were complaints that were raised earlier as well. Even there is a letter that we have shown, and for our viewers as well, we have put it out that on the letterhead the residents complained to the Noida MP Mahesh Sharma. They also roped in the MLA as well of that very sector as well. And both of them had reached out to the authorities specifically. After you asked him, have these nature of these incidents have concerned you earlier, he in fact also asserted that he was aware, as many of them have repeatedly been complaining to him about how exactly these are not just civic issues, these are issues of larger sufferings as well that are going to be posing threat to the life, given the situation is not contained or is not given adherence to due time. And that is what now the statement by the Noida MP has also come in. Given the matter right now, it is under the police investigation as well. The FIR against these two firm owners or the builders has also been lodged, and these are serious charges that have been levied as well. Given that kind of a situation here, there is going to be also a big action initiated by the police and as well as the agencies involved into the investigation. While this has been on document per se highlighted earlier as well, so this is also expected to now launch huge trouble for these builders as well, who had been now at this point of time not at all been answerable. They did not even reach out to the concerned resident, the RWAs, neither before nor after. It goes on to show the insensitivity that they have been displaying, and the accountability right now which needs to be fixed.
And the fact that the Noida MP, Mr. Mahesh Sharma, said in as many words that he's heard of these complaints in the past, that he was apprised of the situation, and yet nobody could do anything to change that around and possibly save this innocent life today. I do want to go across to Anvit on that note. Stay on with us, Simran. Anvit, of the conversations you've had with Noida Authority, they're coming out to say that they're now taking into account everything that went wrong. They're ensuring that vulnerable spots are no longer vulnerable. But what stopped them? Could you really get a sense of what really went wrong here? What stopped them from taking action in time? Despite these repeated complaints, what stopped them from failing to act?
See, Krithvin, to be frank, there has not been any satisfactory response, because we posed this question to the additional CEO of Noida Authority, Satish Pal, and we asked him that why do you think that there were so many lapses and residents have given complaints, and that is despite that no action was taken or no civic action was taken. But he said that we are looking into it. We have set up a committee. We have held officers responsible. They have also removed a JE, but a JE being removed could only be a scapegoat in this case, where builders are said allegedly to have been colluded with the civic authorities, and they have been flouting norms, up and open, and like this pit also was left open. It was a semi-constructed basement, but having water being accumulated there and no one, taking action. It was in the open, visible to everyone, and we have also been told that officers responsible for that area and development of that area, they have been held accountable. But this had been going on for a long time, and we have seen repeated incidents there. This was the second incident within a month that has taken place. So this certainly speaks volumes of the kind of civic apathy in that area. And also, when we asked the CEO, additional CEO, that what action will be taken in the future to make sure that such incident don't happen, he said that we have set up teams to look on such vulnerable stretches, and we have ensured that there is a survey be taken up to make sure that such stretches are taken care of. But a life has already been lost. Police have also taken action. They have registered an FIR under serious sections of culpable homicide, also on the sections of negligence causing death, and in that way also police have initiated its investigation. Two important points from the police's investigation: one, they might soon send out summons and notices to call people for questioning and to set accountability and record their statements. These can include two companies that have been made accused in the FIR. These can also be people from the Noida Authority who are accountable, who the authority finds out that they were directly responsible for this. Second thing is that police now also might go on to do, they have forensic teams for yesterday on the spot also, then they might do a detailed establish sequence. CCTV footages have been taken. They might also look into the fact that whether or not, because it was a low visibility time when the incident took place, even even in the FIR, and also the officials have said this, even this previously the officers from the authority have also said that there was low visibility, and that is what hampered rescue operations also. So one thing, whether agencies were equipped well to carry out such a rescue. Secondly, when this vehicle was being driven, was it being oversped? Is there any case of drunken driving? So all these angles are now being looked into. Police investigation, as far as it is concerned, they are looking into multiple angles. At the same time, what we are being told that Noida Authority is also taking action, not just against the officers who have been concerned, but also we have been told that teams have been set up to look onto such stretches which could have similar vulnerable stretches, and to mend them and to make sure that such incidents do not happen in the future.
And there are multiple reasons why this makes for a case of Yuvraj drowning in the death of pit, in the death pit of apathy. So let's quickly put out the big questions we're asking on CNN News 18. Number one, why was the boundary wall of this construction site not fixed despite repeated red flags, despite repeated complaints filed by the residents in the area? The second big question is, why were repeated complaints by locals ignored? If people did indeed reach out to civic authorities, if the Noida authority was aware of this big loophole, why was it not fixed in time? A life could have been saved. Despite previous incidents, concerning incidents, a truck, remember, also fell in the same pit. Why was the boundary not fixed, and why did it continue to stay there in the compromised way that it was found when this accident took place? When did disaster relief teams arrive at site? Because Yuvraj's father was informed by Yuvraj himself. He dialed 112. He was seeking help. A, delayed response, and B, not being able to save him despite police teams reaching the spot. What really explains the delay? Is swimming not part of the police training? Because despite hearing him out loud crying for help, nobody could save Yuvraj. Do emergency response teams not even carry a rope? Because we're learning that the emergency response teams were on their way when the police began the rescue work, but the rope that was thrown in the pit was not long enough. The rescue operation was not successful enough to save that young life. So all of those questions being asked today. I do want to go across to Simran on that note. Simran, we've seen an FR being lodged, investigations are picking up slowly, Noida authorities coming out with its own set of assurances. That said, what are the residents maintaining? You've spoken to Yuvraj's father as well. Give us minute by minute update on what he said had happened in those final minutes when help did arrive, but not soon enough or not as effective as was being hoped by the family.
So, very rightly asked, when in fact these questions are being put up to his father, who was in a very emotional and a broken state as he spoke to us, it was quite apparent that he had lost the life he has lost the hope for any sort of action now, because any kind of cover up or any kind of resolution would not get him his son back. Now, that being said, he categorically also emphasized on the fact that the help did come, but it arrived very late. And by help, he meant the police reached late, but at the very same time, what was even more worrying at that point of time was the action that was initiated by the SDRF. He said that while the SDRF did come after the repeated calls that he could manage to make after he arrived there at that site where his son directed him for help, he said that the SDRF did come, but they did not bring that particular tool or that particular machine which was required for them to take his son out of that long and deep 70 feet deep duct. Now, he said that even after an hour later, when everyone was being made aware that this is a very long and a very deep feet that is there in that drain, the SDRF people and the SDRF employees, they did not try their level best, and they did in fact continue to only search for Yuvraj in the nearby vicinity, not going deeper enough or not going to that area where he is stranded on that car which he was driving, and he was very helpless, as told by his friend and by his father who were present there, that he was very helpless. He was waving through his torchlight, and while he was in a very desperate situation, and he was repeatedly saying that I am here and I am actually getting drowned, I need help. The SDRF officials in that video were seen putting that machine in the nearby region, but none of them did actually jump in. The situation was so bad that even an outsider who is not trained enough, who is not an SDRF official, who is just a civilian, he jumped in. He was a Flipkart delivery guy, and that was a silver lining in that entire story. Unfortunately, he could also not save the Yuvraj, and he said had he been alerted a bit earlier, he would have in fact jumped into that long depth and 70 feet deep duct, and he would have saved it. But the SDRF officials, despite being aware the kind of situation that they are taking out the rescue operations, they did not act upon accordingly, and they did not call for additional help. They did not raise enough alarm bells. They were treating it like a casual case, as the father has also raised, that what is the point of now bringing that help an hour later when my son is drowning in front of me. And as tears in his eyes, he really in fact emphasized on the fact that no urgency was actually realized at that point of time. And that being said, this also raises alarm as to why exactly this was not treated as an emergency or an urgency situation as it was. And while you are looking at a person getting drowned, for the SDRF official, these are not such high challenging tasks. They are being trained for it. And if they are being trained for it, why are they not bringing the additional help at the very moment when a call is made? These are the very urgent situations. You don't have that much of time to act upon and think. You have to act immediately and you have to carry out the rescue operations. So these are the big questions also at large, where the parents are also, the father is at large dissatisfied. He is very helpless, and as broken as he sounded, he still does not have the answer, but he has lost his son.
Because fog indeed was a challenge in carrying out the rescue operations. But like you rightly pointed out, Simran, this was limited area. It wasn't unending waters. What explains the delayed, inadequate response? Stay on with us.